Joining us now with stories trending around the world is the owner of the favorite day, Friday. Wow. It's OjyOkpe's favorite day of the week.
I own the day. How are you? Yes,
it's your special day of the week.
It's my special day of the week. Really, really, I love the weekend. TGIF.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Dr. Abati? How are you this morning? Owambe, this weekend? All right. Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning? Good morning. Rufy on fire. How are you this morning?
Very well.
Well, all right.
Good.
Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending with yet another tragic news from Adamawa State, where families are grieving after Boko Haram insurgents launched a deadly attack on Madagali local government area, this time striking the hometown village of Adamawa State Governor Adamawa Fintiri. The assault occurred late on Tuesday night, around midnight, leaving at least 18 to 27 people dead, with dozens more affected. Among those killed was a cousin of the Governor Fintiri himself. Several houses were touched during the attack, and many residents fled to nearby villages for safety.
They came into our community and pretended to be military personnel. Shortly after, some followed on motorbikes and started shooting.
We need strong gun because these people, they have a strong gun. And our boys here, some of us are not sleeping. We are hurrying, we are going about in the bush.
I mean, this is the fourth attack in Madagali in just 5 months, following incidents of these, attacks in October, November, and December of 2025. Security forces describe it as a joint operation by Boko Haram and ISWAP, both of whom continue to use the Sambisa forest as an operational base. Governor Fintiri visited the affected community on Wednesday to assess the damage and console grieving families, condemning what he called cowardly acts of terrorism and vowing to restore peace. I mean, Dr. Abati, 4 attacks in 5 months on the same local government area. I mean, this doesn't seem like a coincidence. It appears to be a pattern. And, it demands for more, than just condemnation from our government officials. I mean, it demands more action. I mean, we're seeing the governor's family also attacked. The governor's village also attacked. This is coming nearer home day by day. The security forces. And like I said, I'll continue to highlight these insecurity that is plaguing our nation for the security forces. I believe this whole week alone, every single day there's been a death story in Nigeria. When are we going to rest? When is that going to stop?
Which underscores the seriousness of the problem that we face. Whether you are a king or you are a village head or you are, an ordinary citizen, nobody is safe. And which makes the case a strong case for this call for state police and strengthening the security agencies in the country so that they can do much better. There's something that the military have just launched. They call it Operation Savannah Shield, which is supposed to be, a combination of all the armed forces, doing a lot more in terms of. But this kind of story is tragic.
So tragic.
I mean, the average thing you can do for a citizen or for any community is the security of lives and property. People can no longer sleep peacefully in their homes, whether it's in Owo. I think yesterday we had a story from Owo, or it is from any other part of the country. And I think that the security agencies have their work cut out for them. And now we have a new Inspector General of Police. The primary duty that he will have will be to fulfill that mandate under the Police Act and the Constitution of ensuring the safety of lives and property, and for government to give them the necessary resources to be able to do their work. We commiserate with all the affected families and the state governor, but the thing to do is to make sure that Nigerians can feel safe, which is one promise that President Tinubu has made.
Well said, Dr. Abate. May their souls rest in peace. I mean, 27 people in Adamawa State.
Can I just make a point based on the reports that the man said? He said something around the weapons that these terrorists came in with. He was saying that if only they had better guns that could match the weapons they came with. And that makes a case for who is funding the terrorists. Where are they getting these sophisticated weapons from? We've talked about the porous borders. We've talked about proliferation of arms. But I believe that Oji, we cannot have the conversation around fighting against terrorists if we don't go after the financiers. Yes. If we don't go after those who are funding the terrorists. Because as long as there's a lifeblood for it, where people are able to buy them more sophisticated weapons that sometimes even the Nigerian military has, then we will continue to have this issue. So we cannot just say, oh, we want to go against them. Let us go after the big ones, the ones behind it. I think that's just to mention that. And then, like Dr. Bati said, state police, the governor himself said, oh, we're going to fix this problem. He cannot do much. He's the chief security officer, but cannot do much. So hopefully this is a case for the northern governors to really come on board and support state police. Yes, these are not just headlines. 27, these are our Nigerian citizens. 27 people died on Tuesday. Unfortunate, really. May their souls rest in peace. Meanwhile, in Benue State, U.S. Christian missionary Alex Barbir has released a 5-minute video accusing the Benue State government of corruption and sabotage of private humanitarian efforts. Barbir claims that after personally funding and supervising the reconstruction of 35 homes for survivors of the June 2025 Yelewata massacre, the state officials attempted to block him from rebuilding the village market, insisting on an inflated cost of 300 million naira. In a now viral clip, Barbir states that the Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs, Adamawa State, publicly dismissed his work, claiming only 18 uncompleted homes had been built. Let's take a look.
Mr. Kunde, instead of commending and praising the work that is done in your state, you spit. You intentionally lie about the work that has been done in order to discredit what we've done.
You are talking of 36 houses. The best of my knowledge, the last time I was there, he raised 18 uncompleted 18 houses that he had.
You know that it's been more than 18 homes. If you've been to Yelewata, you know that the work has been ongoing for months. And at this point, dozens and dozens of homes have been completed. But then you want to tell the news and you want to lie and try to discredit. And say that, oh, last time I was there, only 18 homes. Well, you must have not been to Yelewata in months because today is 41. The very work that you yourself refused to do. For 6 months, the government had the funds to do rebuilding, to be able to help the people. And it wasn't done. You sat on the money that was supposed to go to the ones who lost their families, who were massacred in the night, who now have no home. And you chose to do nothing. And we do what you guys refuse to do. And your choice is not to uplift and to praise, but to spit on what we have done.
I don't know who gave him 300 billion projects to build market. It's laughable. We don't have such. If you have any 300 billion project that the ministry write to him or whatever, he should come.
Mr. Kunde, you say that you have no clue who talked about a 300 million market. Yet it was your own words. Tell the truth. I have the messages. They're right here. You sent the video. You told me the figures of what this market that was proposed will cost. And I rejected it and I said no.
Rafai, this is frustrating. Barbir has called the commissioner's statement shocking and deliberately false and warns that U.S. officials are monitoring the situation closely. The question Nigerians are asking: if a foreign missionary can rebuild 35 homes, what exactly has the Benue State government done with the billions of naira donated for these same communities? Now, we call on the EFCC to look into these claims. I know I took one of the stories from the First Lady donating about $1 billion naira, to Benue and all of that. And now we're hearing this Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs attacking the one man who's been doing the Lord's work in Yelewata. Rufai.
You know the song that was ringing in my head as I was singing?
I find it frustrating.
I was singing the song that was ringing in my head. The number you are calling is not available. These guys are jokers.
No, it's.
You see the shame and disgrace. A foreign Christian missionary came to do the work government ought to do because government abdicated the responsibility. At first, this was the same Yelewata that President Tinubu, the leader of the country, couldn't even go to because then it rained that day and the road was bad. After we had called, go there. People leave their own turf, come to build homes, then you now start to controvert the issue. Instead of you to be lying on the ground, be licking Alex Barbir's feet and saying, Alex Barbir, thank you. You are the savior. You are the modern day Jesus. Thank you. But it will never. You see, when I tell you that the country is gone, or do you think I'm joking? See this man. They want to also feast on the misery of people. Isn't it enough that they killed people like that in Yelewata? Nobody could save them. They want to also feast on the misery of people. So what have they done for their own people? And that's the shame that they should feel. Look at Yelewata people. I constantly interview Francis Nto and people that have families that have been affected. I have also helped raise money for one of the IGP camps around there. But these people are not concerned about the people. See, Oji, today, you know what they do? They get into government just to get privileges and they get money and resource. And once they get the money, they move on. So the missionary that raised money from abroad, they will want to tell him an inflated figure because all they believe is shop the money, just bring the money, let's shop. Eh?
All right.
And that's why you see their lives are never better. Oji, speaking of Adamawa, it will happen again. See, another thing I want to also tell people, because I see that we are getting ahead of ourselves in this conversation about state police. We are being delusional. If you have state police, it's not going to change anything. Once you have an established culture of impunity, nothing is going to change. Because if the federal forces, there has been allegation of infiltration, how are you not sure they are going to infiltrate the state forces? Until we collectively rid our society of this level of terrorism, nothing will move further. Look at Fintiri. He has just decamped to the APC. As they are close to the center now, does it stop his state from being attacked?
No. The answer is no, Rufai. The answer is no. I don't know if you wanted to chime in quickly on Barbir's story, Ayo.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing up Oji, because when I watched the video, it was shame that covered me. Yeah. Shame because it's almost the story of the Nigerian government in many instances, whereby there's a dereliction of duties, then people, whether it be internally, home, come gather money together, or internationally, and then rather than appreciate the efforts of Alex Barbir, it was a trade of, you didn't do this, what did you do? We have been talking about part of this issue around this, persecution and resettling of members of the community in IDP back to their communities is for the government to do something. What has the Benue State government done? Not only has the president's wife donated goodwill, there's been goodwill donations from different quarters, yet these people are still in deplorable conditions in IDP camps because their government has failed them. Then one individual who has rallied support comes to be, whether it is one house, you are there making fun of a house or 20 or the number of houses based on the inefficiencies of government. I think it's a shameful period for the government. He actually did more worse than good. And I'm glad that this man, they should not think this is Nigeria. They come with receipts. They have evidence of how much money, and he said he even has phone conversations to buttress his point around, the conversations with the Benue State government. It is sad, and they do need to be probed. They need to be probed and investigated, not after the tenure, the lifetime of their tenure, but right now, so that everyone who is culpable in taking advantage or leveraging people's disadvantage will be brought to book. Wickedness upon wickedness.
All right, Dr. Bati, you wanted to say something, but I wanted to say
the more important part of that statement by Alex Barbir is where he ended. He said to the government of Nigeria, stop the killing.
Yes.
And he asked two questions. When will you start helping the suffering people of your country.
This is the question.
When are you going to do the right thing?
This is it.
Those are the three statements with which he ended that video.
Well said. I mean,
and they're important questions.
Very good questions. And, you know, we call on the EFCC, like I said, to investigate the amount of money that has been put into Benue State alone. Now, we'll take another story now. Well, a dramatic series of events unfolded at the FCT Police Command and Wuse Zone 2 Magistrate Court on Thursday as a woman identified as Tracy Nicolas Ohiri, who accused the Minister of Works, David Umahi, of owing her 250 million naira and making unwanted advances towards her as she sought to recover her funds, was arraigned on defamation charges. In a statement posted by activist Omoyele Sowore, the court granted her bail. But what followed was a troubling display of alleged judicial interference, with her case file mysteriously disappearing from the court registry, armed mobile police officers arriving at the premises, and attempts made to transfer her to a custodial facility in Keffi, Nasarawa. Well, let's take a look at the chaos that unfolded at court premises.
Well done! Idiot! Oppressive Nigeria! We don't do the same thing! We never start to do that! When they follow me fight, then they run! See the policeman, the one that is sent, come. You want to my camera? If you want to shoot me, I mean I would have fear you. Shoot me, I mean the talk. She has the right. She has the right. What do you mean? She has the right. This is the worst you can do. She has the right. This is the worst. I offered myself to bring her back. What's the essence of bail? It's going to be produced back in court. Yes, now. Maybe that today, when I go end Tunji Disu's term of school. She's going to prison.
Well, this is quite chaotic. Well, Sowore stated that he took the intervention of Acting Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, and sustained resistance from members of the Take It Back movement to prevent her immediate transfer. Well, meanwhile, Ohiri addressed members of the media, laying bare her allegations. Let's take a look.
After 1 year and 8 months, I started asking him for my payment. While I'm asking for my payment, David is asking me out. While I'm asking for my payment, David is asking me to date him. I told him, sir, one day I got so frustrated. I said, sir, can you concentrate and pay me my money? Stop telling me about dating you. I've told you I cannot date you. He became angry and hung up on me. The next thing, he sent me a message which is on my phone right now by David Umahi's number. Everybody that knows David knows this same number. He sent me a phone, an SMS that I insulted him. I will teach you a lesson for insulting me. I can show it to the whole Nigerians. I can show that text message to the whole Nigerians. And do you know the shocking thing? The most shocking thing I've ever witnessed in my life is David Umahi. Right in my face, when he was brought for an interactive section with me by his boy in the police station, in the police force that he's using. David looked me in the eyes and said he has never met me. He said it yesterday. I have never met this woman before. I'm only meeting her for the first time. I almost died. David Umahi said he has never met me. I brought my pictures with David Umahi. I brought evidence showing me and David Umahi in his office as a deputy governor. Fakorede said, how are we sure this is real? God, I wait for Nigeria.
Well, reactions are trailing the allegations made by Tracy Nicolas Ohiri against the Minister of Works, David Umahi. With a statement from political analyst Aide pushing back strongly against the claims, describing them as unsubstantiated and timed to distract from the minister's work. The statement questions why Ohiri waited nearly a decade to go public, arguing that a legitimate debt of that magnitude would have been pursued through the courts, not social media. And I'll read an excerpt of his statement there. He wrote, "Let us break this down systematically. 1, the question of commercial logic campaign operations at gubernatorial level are not roadside transactions. They involve structured committees, procurement channels, documented approvals, and financial oversight. No serious political campaign operates on verbal promises worth tens of millions of naira. If goods valued at 24.5 million naira were truly supplied, where is the written contract? Where are the delivery notes? Where is acknowledgement of receipt? Where is evidence of demand immediately after the election? Why wait nearly a decade before going public? Why election time? Business transactions of that magnitude do not survive on memory. They survive on documentation. The claim that such supplies were executed without advance payment or legally binding agreements stretches credibility beyond reasonable limits. Well, the statement went further to warn against the growing trend of, using viral videos as substitute for legal process and calls on Nigerians to distinguish between genuine whistleblowing and what it describes as weaponized publicity. Dr. Abati, I just had to sum up the whole conversation that has been trending on social media. On one hand, we see Sowore going to, try to help this woman secure her bail. And then, these allegations were very weighty allegations. But you heard the minister yesterday when we took the story saying that, he doesn't know this woman. Even she also admitted that he said he didn't know who she was, which is, quite strange, Dr. Abati.
Okay, 1, the matter is already before the court of law. Now, she has been granted bail, right? Yeah. Now, the court is a place to pursue the matter.
Yes.
Parties involved need not resort to self-help. That's number 1. And the social media is not a courtroom. In fact, to take a matter in court and be fighting it on social media may amount to, just taking your matter into your own hands. You go to court, and the court will only make a decision one way or the other based on evidence that is provided. The ABAB guy that wrote a statement on it, he also has a point when he says this is a commercial transaction. If you are being owed money, then you pursue it. Now, the figures are even, confusing. In some reports, you will see 24.5 million. In another report, you see 304 million. I think you mentioned 250 million. All those details are things that can be sorted out in a court of law. Now, there is the gender narrative there. My title well. He came to my room.
Dr. Mati, watch this video.
No, but I did. She's a married woman.
Yes.
So what is she doing in a hotel that another man will tie towel and come to her room?
Those are the questions a lot of Nigerians are asking on social media.
These are questions that will be sorted out that lawyers can argue about. So, and then this gender card that will play all the time. Many people will take a decision on the basis of that. If you are aggrieved, if you have contractual issues, if transactions go wrong, the place to go is a court of law.
Okay, Rufai has his hands
dramatizing it would amount to contempt, either in the face of the court or away from the face of the court. Especially Korea.
Rufai, go ahead.
Doctor.
A few minutes, Dr. Rufai.
No, this is straightforward.
It's not a straightforward something. We'll break it down for you, doctor. You see, it's not.
What are you breaking down? You cannot decide a matter that is already in court on television.
Doctor Oreuma, you will know. Let's break it down. The bone of contention here is the high-handedness
of what?
Of the security authorities. You remember the case of what's it called? What's his name now?
Dele Farotimi. Okay, Dele Farotimi as well.
It was the high-handedness we talked about. You charge her for defamation. There's civil and criminal. What we are saying is, you charge her for defamation. They came to bring her all the way. Then they put her in front of the police authorities and put her in front of Umahi, and they started to humiliate this woman. It was when they were doing that, she called in Sowore And when he
What do you mean humiliate? I don't remember.
They were shouting, they were talking down at her there.
I saw her attacking the minister.
No, they were talking at her. That was why he was leaving afterwards.
Okay, I didn't watch that part of the video.
This had happened.
I saw her like launch.
This had happened a day before the court happened.
Okay, I watched this video.
So they went to bring her all the way from Lagos. They kept her there. They kept her in the cell. They were harassing her. That's when Sowore stepped into the matter. And they went to court yesterday. All right? And when they got to court yesterday, they granted her bail. But what they were trying to do is that they were still trying to ensure that the bail was not perfected so that she will sleep. They will take her to Kuje.
Horrible.
So that was what they were trying to do. That's why the Sowore protested. And he even went ahead to call the IGP. And he said, I will stand for this woman. Leave her for me. I will bring her to court. You can find me anywhere. The substantive matter here is the high-hand. We're not saying they should not settle matter in court.
All right.
Is the high-handedness. If you and I, do you know how many days they defame us? If you and I that we don't have powers in this country, can we just instruct the police to go and pick somebody in Lagos over a case of defamation? Is the high-handedness we're talking about here. But the other matters can be settled in court. Is the high-handedness.
But the police should
subject matter
as well. This
yes, is the high-handedness. In fact, that was why they went to Oji. That was why they went to hide the file. Because after they granted that bill, they wanted to ensure to psychologically demoralize him more and even more that they didn't perfect the bill. That's why at a point Sowore was saying they went to hide the file. That was why he fought and he stood still. That you've granted this woman bail. Let this woman at least go. They said no. They had even brought in police reinforcement to be able to take the woman to Kuje.
Let's allow.
I think it's normal procedure that you have to perfect the bill. It's normal procedure.
Everybody, what we're looking at, and from the video that yes, what from the video you showed, from the video you showed, Oji, what we're asking for is professionalism and fair treatment across board, irrespective of who you are, and that nobody should use their office to intimidate any Nigerian. And unfortunately, we've seen this happen a number of times. There are too many examples to mention, some of which we have talked about on this show. We looked at the Erisco treatment, looked at the Dele Rotimi case and all that. Yes, the woman would have a day in court, but what we're saying is that in the process of that, let there be fair treatment and no intimidation. And on the fact of the gender card, I have to speak because I'm a woman. It's not every time that the gender card is played. And to be fair, both of them are married. So if she's married and he's married and they were in a hotel room, both of them have questions to answer. It's not because, a married woman, both of them were married. And in this instance, and I don't want to go into the substance because, of course, like you mentioned, it's in court. But in this instance, she's saying that his denial of ever meeting her is what she's questioning and saying she has evidence. Maybe she should post the pictures up and let's see just how cozy, just how cozy. Just how cozy they were. Because
who did she show? I would like to see these documents. I don't have them.
They show the text message of their intertal exchanges. The message she claimed that was right, but I can't verify that.
But that is in court anyway.
Yeah, that will be decided in court. That doesn't concern me. It's the high-handedness that concerns me.
Yes, that's what we are talking about. But at the end of the day, can you really say it is the Umahi that asked the police to transfer her to Nasarawa? We don't have the details. Why are we pointing fingers at David Umahi?
It is based on Umahi's petition that they went to go and bring the woman.
No, but that was bring her to the court, but not to the
it is police. Based on Umahi's petition. They went to go and bring the woman first and lock her before they took her to court. That's what we are saying.
Talk about the professionalism of the police. And I'm glad that Mr. Sowore talked about Mr. Disu and how he must address this. This is part of the professionalism.
Yes,
we're speaking about the police.
And Disu.
They will just suffer this woman for nothing. If not for Sowore, I'm not saying she's right or wrong. I said let's do things right.
Doing the Lord's work. He's doing right by the citizens, like he promised, like the boss that he is. I mean, this is an unfolding story, and we will continue to follow up on it. I mean, we have lost a lot of time, but I guess we can head over to Delta State now, where in a rich celebration of heritage and culture, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, was conferred with the chieftancy title of Utukpa Orishe of the Warri Kingdom by the Olu of Warri, His Royal Majesty Ogyame Atuwase III. The chieftancy title is also known as Ogbone, meaning Light of God, in recognition of the First Lady's service to the nation and her deep ties to the state. The celebrations began as soon as the First Lady landed at Osubi Airport, where she was welcomed by a vibrant crowd of traditional performers and musicians in a homecoming ceremony honoring her Ishekiri heritage. She was accompanied by the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi. During the festivities, the First Lady called on Nigerians to come together, irrespective of their differences.
Nigeria has to be united. When they were saying religious battle between Muslim Christian, look at how God will do it. They both started the fasting and Lenten period the same day. What is God telling us? Unity. When we are united, Psalm 133 said, that is where God commands blessing. We have spoken a lot today. Shekiri Dede, you have to come together, irrespective of interest. And you, and can proverb can roke. Gi ene magba owoton babomawi ene wagba to ba famara. And that is what I want to see.
All right, what a beautiful celebration of culture, identity, and service. Delta State Governor Sheriff Obowori was also present and together with Ishekiri leaders described her visit as a milestone for cultural unity. Congratulations to the First Lady on this well-deserved honor. You know, she's my Delta sister, and that's always why I'm so proud of most of the work that she does. Claim her. Go ahead, claim her.
I was born in Warri, so she's my Delta person.
It was beautiful to see.
And I love that you said it's a celebration of culture, identity. It was a homecoming for her. I think extra special because when you're honored in your home, it's even greater than being honored outside.
It is. And only recently Trump honored her as well. So kudos to the First Lady. Congratulations to the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Remi Tinubu. Now to Edo State, where in a new video, the state governor, Omoyele has joined the league of dancing governors as he was seen showing up some dance moves moments before giving a speech in Benin City on Monday. Let's take a look. I'm not hearing you shouting. My friend, he has joined, and it was his weekend song. Please, all these dancing governors, we want a competition. We want a competition, really. I loved it. Well, all right. Let's now take our final story, celebrating Nigerian-born British music legend, Helen Sade Adu, better known as Sade Adu, for securing her second nomination for induction into the prestigious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The 67-year-old Grammy winner is among 17 artists shortlisted for the 2026 class, announced by the Hall on Wednesday. Born in Ibadan, Nigeria, and raised in the United Kingdom, Sade emerged in the 1980s as the unmistakable voice behind her band of the same name. Her seamless blend of soul, jazz, and R&B helped define the Quiet Storm era, offering the world something it did not know it needed: music that was soft, intelligent, and deeply human. Hits like Smooth Operator and The Sweetest Taboo remain timeless, echoing across generations.
If I tell you now, will you keep on loving me? If I tell you how I feel, will you keep bringing out the best in me? You give me the sweetest taboo. You give me
timeless, sweetest Sabu, one of my favorites. Sade was first nominated in 2024 and did not make the final class. But here she is again, unbothered and undeniable. Congratulations are in order, and I hope she gets it this time. She is definitely one of my favorites.
It's quite a tough list, though.
It is a tough list.
If you see the
Huge,
names,
huge list. But I know Sade will make it.
Yes.
Nigeria, I know they carry last, as always. On that note, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. You all go have a great weekend. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all next week.
You're giving me the sweetest